Howdy, howdy, fellow trainers, and happy Pokemon Day to you all out there, and welcome to this new visit to the Halzari regions, part of the Pokemon Bliss and Oblivion project here at PTE Creative. You have a new regional evolution to meet today, so let's get to that Pokemon right now. On our last episode, you got to meet Wooloo, the regional variant of Wooloo, that is, favorite from Gen 8, the cutesy Pokemon that we all know and love from the Galar region. So we have a new regional variant to this Wooloo, and it's an ice type variant. And it's found in our northern mountain section of the Halzari region. So let's meet its evolution. And I'm proud to present to you right now Blizzulu, the ice type with a very obvious, I'd love to say, inspiration behind the design. So as you can see, our Wooloo evolves to get even bigger, even more snowbound, and more icy scarf look, with a snowman on its back for part of that design. So let's get to its Pokedex entry to kind of see where we're going with this Pokemon. Blizzulu, as I like to say, is an ice-type Pokemon, and it is the snowman Pokemon, for obvious reasons, as it's kind of built the snowman upon its back. Upon evolving, this Pokemon fully embraces a love for the snow. Its fleece mixes with the snow to create a hardened exterior. Eventually, the snow builds into figures on its back. So when Blizzulu fully comes to form from Wooloo, it's fully embraced the snow. For those that remember, the defense is extremely high on physical attacks for a Wooloo as a natural defense mechanism. Hence the reason it has the ability Fluffy, as it halves the damage to any physical attack that comes into contact with it. So I thought we should play with that even more. If we went the ice type route, its fur becomes more and more packed down while it mixes with snow, and it creates this scarfed look of a snowman for this very heavy exterior. It's also kind of a defense mechanism to be out in the snow, to have that look on its back. From a distance, it can be somewhat intimidating to see this weird figure out in the distance in the snow where you don't really know where it is. It's part of its natural defense mechanisms, so I played into the defensive capabilities of Blizzulu with the design. On top of that, as it's packing into the snow, we're getting a more frosty, frozen exterior, which would make it harder to attack with those physical attacks. So play into what's already there with the natural ability that it has, and then go forward with something new. So now we have this very icy scarf look to it, where we have these ice crystals coming off the scarves to both as a defense mechanism or a nice way to attack something as well. So that's where kind of the basis of Blizzulu came from. It's one of those, you can kind of tell which drawings I feel very happy with and which ones I felt the need to fix some by if you see the time lapse. Generally speaking, I no longer show the time lapse of just tracing over a drawing anymore, simply because I just don't think it's as dynamic, which tells you I'm very happy with the product I put out with the first go. So while I'm doing the Pokemon design work, what I really like to do is get it on paper first, get an image of what I'm trying to create, almost like a conceptual art, and then go into the digital framework. Now that I'm creating some Pokemon from scratch in the digital framework, I don't see that as much. I don't have as many of that tool set with me anymore. I've kind of evolved. However, I still go back to the original drawings when I'm going to see that. I drew over 150 or 170 Pokemon. There's a few that didn't make it in the original catalog, but I still have all my sketchbooks. I have 4 sketchbooks just full of Pokemon design work with that. So Blizzulu, I was straight happy with. I just went, that's perfect. Just needs a little bit of finishing touches in the digital realm. So that's why you didn't see the time lapse. But let's go back to the Pokedex entry. Just a little tidbit for those that wanted to know a little bit more process for myself. So with Blizzulu, like I said, ability is Fluffy. It has the damage taken by physical attacks on contact. Its height is about 5'10". So Wooloo itself, the actual sheep portion of it that we would know already, does grow in size. to about 3 to 4 feet tall, but then it's got this 2-foot extension on its back, so that makes it 5'10". You can see it comparison to about a 5-foot trainer, and I use Crystal from Pokemon Crystal. Now, its base stat does go up by 10 in comparison to Dubwool. I think Dubwool, one of the reasons Wooloo is not more beloved is the evolution does not inspire the warm, fuzzy feelings that we get from Wooloo. When you first see Wooloo, it's adorable, and you want to use Wooloo for the rest of the game. And then you kind of find out what it evolves into, and Dubwool is unfortunately somewhat of a disappointment. That's why I wanted the more cutesy nature of Wooloo to stay in the BlazZulu design work. And I upped the stats a little bit more to make it a more appealing Pokemon for a future run in a game. So its base stat moves from 490 to 500. The HP is bumped up to 80. And then we still have high defensive marks with a physical defense of 100, special defense of 92. Its attack and special attack both are 79. We split that pretty evenly. The only thing Dubwool is superior in by all measures is speed. I believe the speed stat on a Dubwool is 88. We took it down to 70 for this. Still a decently fast Pokemon, but you gotta remember, if we're playing this highly defensive creature that likes to burrow in the snow, essentially, and just is happy laying out in the snow, it's probably not going to be that fast. So play into those things, especially a lot of creatures, as they slow down due to the winter, it's because they're colder. They can't move as quickly. There's not as much heat generated there. Hence the reason I went, okay, let's play into that and have less of a speed stat, which is why its speed stat is down to 70. But overall, 500 stat here, and I'm very, very happy with the way BlazZulu came out, and it's adorable little snowman that I think everyone would be very happy to have in their party, as I would be as well. But that is BlazZulu, and I hope you enjoyed meeting that Pokemon today. That is going to do it here on the show. If you want to see more content, go check out our previous episodes. Try our social media. We're trying to get that a little back up and running. And go check out the ONETA Show, which debuts on Tuesdays on the channel, generally unless there's a special event. And every Saturday, you can go check out the Wisco Movie Watchers podcast, which is on our YouTube channel and on Spotify, just like the ONETA Show is as well. And we're about to start our action movie tournament, which is going to be a heck of a lot of fun. The first episode, which is debuting after this episode comes out of the Pokemon Bliss Oblivion project on Happy Pokemon Day, we're discussing what franchises are going to get into the tournament. So it's going to be a heck of a lot of fun. Go check that out and have yourself a great day, trainers. Peace, love, and hugs to you all. Goodbye!